Hi guys, it's Leanne here, and today on my channel I'm going to be doing a 1-year transformation video. So let's just get started. I'm also going to be doing my makeup while I'm at it. I've already done my regular skincare, and I have my phone over here. I need chopstick before we start. I have my phone right here, and I did a little bit of note taking for things that I just wanted to talk about. Really just talking about a 1-year transformation with workouts, because it's about almost 1 year. I think 1 year would be, I'll have the date of the exact 1 year on the screen for you guys, but here's a little background. So when I started this journey, I was actually at my highest. I think my highest to date, which I'll have a screenshot of what my highest was, to date would be about 237, 38. I truly just did not know what to do. I was so lost because I've done literal hours of working out. I have done working out just in general. I've done like being outside all day. I have done countless amounts of diets that just ended up with cheating. I literally cannot tell you the amount of work that I have done to try to lose weight, and not lose weight because of like I shouldn't say self-confidence, but like not lose weight to look trendy and skinny, just because I knew I wasn't healthy. I knew that I wanted to be more healthy and I wanted to find what was right for me, but I just literally could not figure it out. So if you guys have been here for a very long time, or at least have been here for at least a couple months, I have talked about in the past that I watch Alyssa Rose. I have been watching her consistently since COVID. I have been watching her for a very long time. Like right after COVID, like a year after COVID I should say, she moved into her house, which now her and Zane live in full time. I noticed that she started filming a lot of her workouts, which wasn't unusual, but she worked with, which they were actually called Co-Pilot at the time. She worked with them a couple times, and she had a code that you could use. So I decided to use it, and I loved it basically. And I can give you my code. I think you get like 2 weeks free, or a 2-week free trial or something like that. And basically, this is not sponsored by any means. You meet with, they automatically just send you a coach, and you can change coaches at any time. You meet with a coach on Google Meets, and then you talk about your must-haves if you're a beginner, your not so friendly workouts to you, you know, kind of just like stuff that works for you, any dietary restrictions, you know, literally anything related to working out and personal health in general. Sorry, I have like an itch. I'm trying not to itch it. You meet with them, and then they make a workout set, and it goes for 4 weeks. You work out with that set for 4 weeks, and then it changes after 4 weeks. I got my workouts the same day, and so she started me with kind of like a low grade, quiet workout. And you also have an extras tab that you can use to your advantage. So if you're just like in a time crunch and can't get your real workout in, or if it's an off day, or if you just really just want to put in extra work. Why are my headphones in here? You can do it at your leisure. And hold on, give me a second. It was about midday, I should say. I loved that workout. Now also, if you have been on my channel and subscribing to me for a while, you also would know that I did the Chloe Ting's workouts trend for a while. They were working, but then they stopped completely working, and I just didn't love them anymore. hold on. Chris is still very young. He's actually my youngest out of the two, so he literally chews on everything. And I threw my headphones on my bed and he started chewing on them. That's kind of like the background. I'm going to start with looking at what I've talked about. Now, let me preface this before I even go any further. I did pay, or I should say I do pay good money to use this app. It is $129 flat. Like I said, it is a lot for some people, but when you're such a beginner like me, I've done literally everything in the book that I could. I've made my own workouts. I've went to the gym. Like, I have done everything that I could and nothing was working. Train Well is for some people going not to be a good way to work out. Like I said, it is kind of pricey. The one thing that I would tell you before even thinking about using it is, have any of the workouts that you've tried been good enough for you? Because I would not recommend Train Well enough to anybody, but I feel like if you can go to the gym and you can work out at a gym, I would say pay the gym money, because gym money is not going to be as expensive as Train Well. But I feel like Train Well is good for, and this is just my opinion, it's good for people who just need that extra help and don't know what to do. Like I said, I would still recommend it to anybody. Within the first 2 weeks of using Train Well, I noticed a significant difference physically, mentally, emotionally, and it was kind of the starting point of the motivation that I have now. I say about 2 months into the journey, I went on my yearly summer trip to Gatlinburg. Usually we do a lot of walking when we're traveling to Gatlinburg, because that's kind of just what you do. Kind of like same as a cruise, you're doing a lot of walking. And so at the end of each day, when we were kind of just chilling in the condo, I would still do my workout. It was a plus, because honestly, that, like, before Leanne would not have done that workout. And I'm still to this day so proud of Leanne for doing that. One thing that I kind of figured out after the trip is that I needed that extra motivation from a coach instead of like from my parents. I just needed that extra motivation. And so it was working so well. And when I first started, like, I would actually go outside to do these workouts, but I just feel nowadays that going outside is not going to make the workouts any different, personally, to me. I also started including back into my routine yoga morning and night. I've included walks morning and night. So I am going so above and beyond just those workouts, and I've found, and I've talked about it in a different video, that I found that thinking mentally about these extra workouts as something, you know, fitting for a different part. For the yoga in the morning, it's more like relaxing me and making sure that, you know, whatever happens isn't going to, you know, ruin my day. And then the night one is to help me go to bed. I just found the best thing that worked for me is just figuring out a different mindset than I'm working out to work out. Now, kind of this transforms into the 6-month update. August was 6 months. My birthday is in August, and about mid-August, I want to say, I found that I could not handle having stomach issues anymore. And this is gonna sound TMI, so if you want, you can skip to this part where I stop talking about it, or you could just exit the video at any time. This is not gonna be a video for everybody. I had really bad shits. Like, they were so mushy. uncomfortable, bad cramping, and all around it was like the worst experience, and I was down bad for a very long portion of it. I would bloat a lot, and I also couldn't, again, lose weight no matter what I did. And my mom is actually, this is actually the worst, don't buy this. My mom is actually in the medical field, and so I got blood work done, and I did quite a few tests. I want to say a week before the blood test, the like blood draws, I was told by my mom from one of her coworkers who has like a lot of I want to say like a lot of different health issues herself, like gluten and dairy free, you know, blah blah blah. So it was really nice to have someone who could help me out. She said the best way to find out if you're gluten and dairy intolerant is just to cut them out and then try to reintroduce them in about a month or two. And when I tell you guys, I didn't even need to introduce gluten and dairy back into my life, because about 2 or 3 days into cutting it out, I felt so good. I felt so happy, and I honestly felt so satisfied. Like, I didn't feel like I ate too much, and I didn't feel that I had too much, or you know, just like in general, like I felt so well that I honestly just never really introduced it back. Now, I do want to preface this by saying I do eat gluten and dairy, but I do talk about this later in the video. I just try to make it a very small amount when I do, because it's not very good for you if your body doesn't like it. Again, I talk about this in the later part. Now, personally for me, I went cold turkey, like completely went cold turkey. I found that the best method, because I know for me, when I get a certain way, I do, but I don't. Like, I'll cut it out, but I won't cut it out completely. And it just, for me, working cold turkey was the best thing I could have done. I asked for my Train Well coach to send me some recipe ideas for gluten and dairy free options, and I also went the extra mile to make sure when I was, because I do all of the shopping and majority of the cooking, so I went the extra mile to search on my own on Pinterest, Google, just whatever you use. I know Instagram has some good recipe ideas as well. I just did a lot of research in general with this new diet, if you will. Keep in mind, when you're going gluten and dairy free, it is going to be difficult to find options, especially when you are going out. I can't stop yawning, and this is frustrating. I went cold turkey, and I kind of just found swaps for things that I like. For instance, it was a lot of snack type swaps, like snack and like things that I liked in this moment, like in that moment in time type of swaps, which worked for me for a while. And then about a month or so later, I worked on recipe ideas, which about at the month mark, I had worked so hard on the swaps that I had a good amount of swaps that I could kind of use. For instance, it was more basic swaps, I should say, like milk. I know almond milk is good. A lot of people like almond milk, soy milk. Personally, I have tried all of that prior to that, and I found that pea milk, which I use Ripple, was the best for me. It does have a little aftertaste, but I noticed that I stopped drinking as much milk when I did cold turkey method, using those basic swaps to make cooking and baking a lot easier. And then about at the 5-month mark, I decided to make a smoothie bowl. Now, I remember in June or July, so right before the crash happened, I went to a acai bowl for the first time, and I tried an acai bowl, loved it. So that's kind of where the smoothie bowl comes into play, because I know I like acai bowls and I know I like smoothies. I'm just particular with my smoothies. I haven't made a smoothie in a while actually, but I used the Trader Joe's smoothie blend mix and I loved it. I also ended up using Kachava vanilla protein powder in there as well, and I add a lot of toppings. I think I added chia seeds, flax seeds, canola. I started adding hemp seeds in there. Just a lot of things in general. Chocolate chips, strawberries, bananas, anything you want. I loved it. The next day, Monday, I went to work and I decided to try the classic cola poppy. I had the miniature one because at Walmart they were selling the miniature ones, so I wanted to try it. I tried it and I absolutely adored it. I loved it, and that's actually one of my 2 favorite flavors at the moment. Here comes Tuesday. I ended up having a regular Dr. Pepper and I actually hated it. It tasted like straight artificial syrup. That's what it tasted like to me, and I couldn't put 2 and 2 together. But for a regular, I think they're like 8-ounce cans, like the regular cans that you can buy in store or like in a 12-pack, I only ended up drinking like 3 sips out of it, and I ended up having to dump it out in the break room. Wednesday, I went back to the poppy, and then I found out that I just prefer the healthier version of soda. Now, I did have someone say in my comment section of a poppy versus Dr. Pepper video, Doc Pop and poppy taste the same. They do, but they don't. Poppy has a more distinct flavor than Dr. Pepper does. Dr. Pepper has that, again, spicier feel to it, where poppy is light and more refreshing. Kind of like if we're dealing with smells, like fragrances, you could kind of think poppy as being the fruitier type of flavor, whereas Dr. Pepper is more moody, spicy, kind of like in that nature. I understand that it's supposed to taste the same because of the name. Just like if you were to go to like Whole Foods and find their cola versus regular Coca-Cola, it's going to taste the same. They just legally can't use the same name. But poppy versus Dr. Pepper is a lot different. I just kind of wanted to point that out for people who are trying to be in this stage of life where they're trying to figure out health needs. Now, I don't even know if I said it or not, but I cannot recommend you enough to do your fluffing research. Do your research, because on the contrary, which I'll have a picture of it on the screen, it's actually, gluten and dairy has necessary nutrients that you need for regular people, but like me, I just cannot digest them well. So it's different. Do your fucking research and make sure what you're doing is, you know what you're doing, because if I didn't have the help of the PA at my mom's work, which if you're watching this, hi and thank you, I love you so much, even though I've met you only once, I cannot thank her enough, because she has done so much work in helping me. Do your research though, because honestly, being gluten and dairy free is hard. Going back to me and my 1-year transformation, I am starting to love my body, and in the more confident way, not like the I'm starting to love my body because I'm skinny way. I love my body. I'm seeing a very big difference physically, mentally, emotionally, and going back to train well again. Another full circle moment. My new workout regimen started about 2 weeks ago, and right before it started, I told my coach that I loved the thought of having 4 sets instead of 3, but motivationally, the fourth set was not working out. I'd struggle to do the fourth set with motivation, so it was kind of like doing the most basic bare minimum thing. And so she took that and she made the 3 sets again instead of 4, and she just made them a little bit more intense. And let me tell you, they feel so good. I love them, and I'm so glad I said something. Also, if you do like an app and you are feeling a certain way, say something. People aren't gonna know anything if you do not say something. With this workout and gluten and dairy free and everything, I have been noticing that I do not eat as much as I used to anymore. Like, dinner used to be the biggest meal for me. Like, I used to eat, like, spaghetti nights, I used to eat 2 bowls. Now I'm struggling to eat the most basic semi-vegan, if not vegan, meals. Like, struggling to finish my first plate. Like, this morning I filmed a brekkie with me video, and let me tell you, I made 2 hash browns from Trader Joe's, cheese on top, avocado, and each one had a scrambled egg on top. Chris must be wanting to plot something again stale. Let me tell you, I didn't even finish one of them, so I ended up having to throw it away. I noticed that a lot of things have been changing, and even when I go to fast food restaurants or restaurants in general, I honestly don't prefer it. Like, that would be the last resort type of thing. I'd rather make my own meals, and that's something that you're gonna have to realize if you do gluten and dairy free, which I've talked about that in, I think, a different video, which I'll try to have it in the eye. I'm so excited to see what this next year has for me, and I am so excited to do all the things that I am doing now plus some. And if you guys have any questions, don't be afraid to comment. I love you guys, and thank you for hanging with me.